This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back. It is that time of the night. I'm sure you were thinking we're not coming. We are here. We are here.
Almost didn't make it.
We are here. It doesn't matter. We always come through when we have to. We still continue on that line of BALOYI. It's a twisting and turning. Basically, he's twisting some of the things there, in my opinion. That's what I saw. But unfortunately, that is happening, and there is nothing we can do. Because, I mean, you can just twist things. I mean, the evidence of Babuzwane, I don't recall it like the way BALOYI does. The manner in which he's putting it now, it is very, very disturbing, to say the least.
He's putting it in the version of the police officers that were there or that are alleged to have been involved in the arrest of Babuzwane, and completely dismissing that they may not be credible.
Yes.
As much as he wants them to be.
Yes.
They may not be credible witnesses, unfortunately.
But well, unfortunately, you're going to have to hear yourself what is currently happening in that case. But yay, Ziyabuya, yabona into enginoticile ngecourt, ibhotolo ezinja nje. Like, honestly
it's a
speaking,
humiliation ritual.
Yeah, it's a humiliation ritual where people who think they know English better than others, they twist things and make them suit their narrative. And you tell me that that court is there to find the truth. Which court is there to find the truth if they are twisting what we all heard? The whole world heard what was said by Babuzwane. And BALOYI is literally twisting that.
Or R versus Hepworth completely out of
the window.
And they keep telling him that he's twisting things. He's not being honest. But he's like, no, you can't be accusing me of that. I am honest. I am the dilulu that you have to defend the indefensible. The audacity you need to have, even after watching the events of yesterday through the television, watching the Meyiwa family, watching Umama Senzo complaining, the audacity to still stretch this cross-examination for the entire week, it seems. He's not going to finish anytime soon.
No.
The audacity.
No. We are still continuing. He's taking his sweet time,
yeah,
which is okay. Let him do what he's hired to do. It's fine.
Well, court resumed, and it was quite a late start. So the judge said that he had to attend a document that was desired by the Chief Justice.
Desired,
meaning she wanted the
Yeah, I know.
document.
I get the desired part. I thought you were saying it's designed.
So I'm wondering, Oguti, what is that about? I mean, since when, like, do high court judges directly write to the Chief Justice? So what's going on? Because usually there are levels, right?
Yes.
There'll be the judge president, the judge president, and then judge president of the high court, and now. Is quite interesting, but he did mention in the past that he mentored the current Chief Justice at some point in his career. Interesting times. So it seems there was that reason. He was the reason why court started late for today. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it was quite interesting to hear about this Chief Justice thing, especially under the times that we're in. There's another judge who's being begged to go on special leave and he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. And apparently it is his right. He cannot be forced to go to special leave, according to the judge's meta guy. Yes, he's saying that he can't be forced. They can't force him to go to special leave. So if he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go. He's well within his right. So these are interesting times.
Indeed. Indeed, we're facing interesting times.
So there was a lady by the name of Meyiwa Wells Kosana. She's the new interpreter. Ubab Jonas had a situation on Friday with his, I think it's his child, but I'm not sure. So today we had a new interpreter. So Advocate BALOYI resumed with cross-examination of accused number 1, Moses Bia, and he continued reading the alleged confession. I'm going to call it the alleged confession because calling it a confession that Moses Bia made is kind of a stretch right now.
It is.
So BALOYI then said Marco asked what was going to get in, and I told him, I told them, not me, I'm going to stand outside and watch if there's somebody who came in and disturbed us. I must quickly report. That is the phrase on the confession, the alleged confession. So Sibia said that he still maintains that he doesn't know anything about everything that's written in there, right? So Marco, he continues to read, Marco and Makimba got into the house and Marco was the only one who was in possession of the firearm. They entered and closed the door and demanded cell phones. Sibia then said that even now, I'm still saying that I know nothing about everything that is said there. And then he went on to read Advocate BALOYI. Says according to them, they said they found 3 people in the house. That was Meyiwa and 2 girls in the dining room. One of those 2 girls was Kelly. Even now, CBI is saying I'm still stating that I don't know anything about what is being mentioned in there. They said Meyiwa refused with cell phones. They stood and grabbed each other with Marco. Marco took out the firearm and shot at him. Kelly ran to the bedroom and came back while still pushing each other. The sound of the firearm came out, and as a result, Kelly ran back to the bedroom, and the shots came 2 times again, and they came out running. And we ran into the car, which was parked at the corner of the street. We drove to the hostel, and they said...
Look, a sane person whose mind is right.
Yes.
A person who can think. A person who can reason.
Yes.
A person who can siphon something from something. He believes that. Read it again, if it is possible. That part, read it again. From where Moses says, I'm outside, I'm standing outside.
From where he says he's standing outside.
He said he's going to stand outside, and then the whole story that happens after that.
Okay.
I'm going to give you time to go through it. I want to, so that we start realizing that at some point we have kids sometimes thinking, doing the thinking.
Okay. According to them, okay, let me start where they said they were standing outside. Marco asked who was going to get in, and I told them, not me. I'm going to stand outside and watch if there is somebody who came in and disturbed us. I must quickly report. Marco and Makimba.
This is Moses saying.
Yes.
That he's going to stand outside.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's going to quickly report.
Okay. Continue.
Marco and Makimba got into the house, and Marco was the only one who was in possession of the firearm.
Okay.
They entered and closed the door and demanded cell phones. According to them, they said they found 3 people in the house. That was Meyiwa and 2 girls in the dining room. One of those 2 girls was Kelly. They said Meyiwa refused with cell phone. They stood and grabbed each other with Marco. This is Senzo and Marco. They grabbed each other.
Yes.
Marco took out the firearm and shot at Senzo. Kelly ran to the bedroom. And then Kelly came back. And while still pushing each other, after he shot Senzo, they're pushing each other. And the sound of the firearm came out. And as a result, Kelly ran back to the bedroom.
Now, I don't care whether you say this is Marco telling the story or you're saying this is Mose who was told by Marco. But does it make sense to you that Mose is narrating the narrative of Bozande? Except that Marco is the only person Bozande don't have. Does it make sense to you? Our so-called great investigator.
He took this
and he is standing outside. He is standing outside. He's lying, Ankara.
Yes.
Let's remove Gebo Marco.
Yes.
But the story that Moses is telling is a story that Zandi came in that court and said.
Now that I think about it, yes.
It's the same story.
Yes, it is.
The running of Kelly, going back and forth.
This time around, she went back to the bedroom like 2 times.
It's the same story.
It's like someone who didn't understand the story
Tumelo,
in full context, retelling it.
Tumelo had also the similar story.
Yes.
How Kelly ran out and then ran back.
Yes.
The kid was following. I don't know who said the kid was following Kelly.
Yeah, it could have been Togo or Tumelo, either of the two.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And then you are telling me that this is the person, according to the testimony, according to the alleged confession of Ndanzi,
yes,
was still standing outside. Because even if you take the confession of Ndanzi, this man is still standing outside. Do you understand?
Yes.
I'm talking about Moses Bia. Moses Bia, even in the confession of Tanzi, he does not go in. The so-called confession. But he lied according to them.
Yes.
But everything is so perfect. Everything is so perfect. And guess what? He never went in.
But he knows what happened.
This story
inside.
is narrated by people who were inside.
Yeah. Yes.
This is the same man who was jubiling and happy that Senzo died, but he never went inside.
Or saw how he died.
This is the same man who was celebrating there, saying, "Hey, have you guys heard that Senzo is dead?" Yes, this is the same man. So, if you use your brain, for those who really don't believe, if you use a bit of your brain, just a bit, honestly speaking, does this make sense to you? Is this anything that we really can use? This man is confessing exactly what happened in that house. And it's a story that was narrated by someone else to him.
Yes.
Whether you take it through Togo's his confession, or you take it through Ntanzi's confession, it still goes back to the same position. The fact is, that story, according to all these so-called confessions, it was narrated because he never went in.
Yeah.
But guess what? Through miracles, that story is lining exactly as Zandi's story, who was inside, who had a preview of what was happening there, who was in a toilet there, poporaling, doing everything in a toilet. This man outside is telling the same story. And you tell me that there's no hand of a babunda, of a monkey that wrote that statement.
Yeah, ne? So they're saying Kelly ran to the bedroom and came back while still pushing each other, and the sound of the firearm came out. As a result, Kelly ran back to the bedroom, And the shots came 2 times again. And they came out running. And
now,
he ran into
do you
the
hear
car.
that 2 times? So the shot came once and then came 2 times. Who confessed about that? Was this not the person who was standing outside?
Who is
The issue of 3 shots that were made. Who not confessed? Who talked about? Who testified about that?
about the 2 shots, isn't it?
3 shots. It was 3 shots. Yes.
Isn't type saying
3 shots. The 3 shots person.
Isn't type saying.
And you tell me that this statement is a lie, but it is just lining up with everything that has been said there. Yes, it's a lie according to them. The big investigator.
And
it's a lie.
Marco and Buthelezi were inside, were in prison.
No, it's okay. Forget about that. I'm just looking at this statement that keeps on touching. And the argument has been so much that such that there was that argument of the 3rd bullet being questioned. Where is it? People saying that some of it, the cartridge could have hanged in someone's clothes and disappeared with the bullet. I don't know, something like that.
Yes.
This is something that has been argued. And you're telling me that this man who's lying, according to the investigator, this man who's lying is aligning with that theory of 3 bullets. And you are a judge, you are going to sit there, you are going to judge, and you don't find that suspicious?
I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do, but most of us have a strong feeling that he's going to convict. He's going to say guilty.
Obviously, I mean, he's making silly jokes, but I'm just thinking for myself out loud that, honestly speaking, a sane person whose mind is not polluted, as Senzo was saying, a sane person would be able to actually look at this and say, no, this does not make sense. This does not make sense. This is a statement that has been reduced into lies. We are told that these are lies.
The audacity of judges in South Africa is scary.
It is scary. They have turned into our presidents. They can do as they please and no one can question them. No. I agree, we are hearing that one now on the other side saying that he's not going to recuse himself.
Yes.
There is no honor even for that badge of judges, if there is any badge of some sort, or if that Mpulampura then, that Zion whatsoever, gum. But honestly speaking, it just does not make sense how these people, and I've been questioning how these people can actually take a directive, not even a directive, how can they actually take a decision that affects us all without any consequences? The so-called constitutional court, your so-called what not. Those people are there to take our decisions.
Nina, oh my God, the Vodacom, please call me guy. Did you hear what they are doing to him?
Yeah, what happened?
So, he had a couple of months. Do you remember he went to the Constitutional Court to make that application?
Yes.
Now they are punishing him with costs. So they are saying he shouldn't have brought that application to the Constitutional Court. He should have went to the High Court, right? That was what Madlanga's judgment said. After he waited for more than a year for that judgment. He read it for a good 30 minutes or less, and he said that he must go back to the High Court. And then he dismissed him with costs. Guess how much those costs are?
How much?
13 million rands. 13 million.
Where is he going to get that money?
It's just a way of putting an obstacle for him to not continue fighting.
That's why I'm saying these courts are no longer doing what they are supposed to do.
It's a circus.
They are doing what they were actually put there to do.
Which is
To suppress a black person.
Suppress.
They are there
Stop.
to suppress
Block.
a black person and make sure that by all means they find a black person guilty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we kept and we clapped when that happened to Zuma because, Zuma is this criminal. And I will always remind you, these things start like this.
They start with one of you.
One person.
And then you give them approval by cheering and saying, oh, good, yes, he's corrupt, even though there's no case that has been concluded with a conviction.
Now they
of
are
corruption.
gunning. Now they want to gun for his house, his home
And his
there,
pension
his
fund.
homestand there, and his pension fund. And very soon that ruling will be used
For everyone else.
because this is High Court that we are dealing with.
So if you're going to fold your arms and say, oh, it's Zuma, he deserves it. He's been made an example, and if you allow it, it's going to happen to you at the lower level. Look at what's
Exactly.
happening in Kobumuzi right now.
What is happening if you go Malem?
Yes, even Malema
It
himself.
started
he may
with
act
that.
strong, but
It started that with that thing
Ziakal.
of endorsing the isolation of one man.
Yes.
These courts are out of order, in my opinion.
Something's not right.
These courts are out of order. There is no constitution that is good for us here.
It's like they were designed to suppress us in particular.
Look, a black man is trying to fight a white
Establishment.
capitalist company. And look at what these courts are doing. They are
And
oppressing.
he's well within his rights to fight, because he's saying that people are like, why can't he just take the 36 million? No, he can't.
Because that's what we're used to doing.
They made a whole lot more money. They made more, way more.
Because they are so
more
confident in this
from
court.
his idea.
They are not willing to let him enjoy those funds. They are not going to do that. They are going to extort them and keep on going back to courts, and the courts are going to lie on these guys to such an extent that it becomes worthless to actually...
This idea was so good that they sold it to other companies abroad. That's dollars, that's pounds, and you are telling him, oh no, he must just take that 34 million, which is going to end up with the lawyers because he's been suing for over 20 years. That whole money that you're telling him to accept, it's going to go into legal fees. Look now, they just charged him 13 million. To go to the Constitutional Court, he has to pay 13 million. So, I don't know what people are planning, but this is not the way.
It's bad what is happening. It is very,
Yeah.
very difficult. And let me tell you, it's not only with this judiciary, it's with the police.
Yeah. It's with the NPA.
We have a situation where in KZN, 2 people, young kids,
children
one has passed away, in fact has been buried
on Saturday.
due to the negligence of the flat. And guess what? The police
Are protecting the owner of
were
the
not
building.
forthcoming when this man went to open the case. But when the owner came, we are seeing some Indian police shooting at people to protect this person who has been harboring while this person was suffering. The father of these kids, Ulamin, was suffering. That's how our system is. That is how, when we fight with our brothers from other countries who come here in South Africa, they think that we have the system of South Africa is created to oppress South Africans. And they will use every trick in a book, even include using our brothers to come and fight against us here.
Yes, they will.
They will use that trick.
And guess what? They won't have a choice because they're surviving. They will be put in a situation where they don't have a choice.
So these are the things that you must think. If it was you, they wouldn't have protected you.
No.
And then you find a comment that I saw as I was browsing through the comments. Someone saying, he puts people's names saying, why are you guys threatening people who wants to go there and confess? And I'm saying, in my mind, we still have such stupidity. And I'm sorry to call it like that. It surprises me that this is probably an old person and this is someone's father. You know what I used to tell ladies out there?
Mm-hmm.
When you date, don't just go and drink alcohol and enjoy and indulging those diluted waters. Go to a date. Make sure that there's less of that so that you can ask this person sitting across you, what is their take in these things that are happening in our economy? Because that question is very important to actually see who you are married. To avoid such fathers who go around and writing things like this, who cannot think outside the box. Fathers who have a syndrome of letting people, of heroism. They just want heroes. They just want heroes. Everywhere they go, they cannot take initiative of taking a mic and speaking like we speak because they are cowards. So they wait for someone who's going to come and feed them whatever information that needs to be fed to them. Even if that information eventually is actually to their disadvantage, they will accept it because they've accepted it before. And then they come here to defend nonsense. They come here to defend nonsense. Because when as a man, you cannot put your pens and fight for your country. You are waiting for someone sitting in their comfortable couch tweeting, and you are waiting to support that person. You are a coward. Then you become minions of a young kid who probably cannot even think. Then you come here, you give me people's names. You can't even fathom what is currently happening. Your argument is just all over. You can't fathom what is happening. You're an old person who cannot fathom what is happening. But you are coming here to defend someone. Hey, why do you guys don't want so and so to give evidence? What evidence? For starters.
Who to not give evidence?
I'm not going to give people's names. I'm not going to give people's names. They named many people that we were threatening. But even our friend, advocate, Difo was mentioned in that. So I'm not going to put people's name, but it's crazy.
I mean pertaining that, guys, no.
It's crazy that an old man is here fighting us as young as we are, fighting us, saying that, hey, I thought you guys were for it. We are for the truth. It takes a while for you to click. Unfortunately, it takes a while for you to click because you wait for a newspaper that comes once in a week. If you do, that's the only news that you subscribe to. It takes a while for you to click.
And South Africa has a problem of, I call it the Messiah phenomenon. They want someone to speak for them, to fight for them, to be ahead, to be a hero for them, to be a. Even now, what's happening with Mkhwanazi? A lot of people are now making him into a you know,
yes.
And it's not safe, that thing.
It is not safe because what eventually happens is that a person who is in that position, he starts fighting for the right cause.
Yeah.
But upon seeing that actually these people, they need a person like this, I can actually gather a support here and then and start actually benefiting myself. And there are many politicians
who have done that
and who are still doing that. And I'm telling you, it's even harder for those people to see it. There are many politicians who have done
as
that.
Proxy,
and they are rich
for them to get what they need.
They are rich,
and most of the times it's money and power.
Yes, money and power, and most of them actually it's not even power; it's money. You know, they would come once in a week, they make noise about something very relevant. They make noise.
And
they come with facts,
and then like supporting and everything.
2 days, 3 days, it starts fading away. That person starts keeping quiet. And then again, they come again. They make noise and make noise, it starts fading. They are getting richer and richer and richer as they keep on doing that. Because guess what? People who understand that if ML is making that noise, it's actually directed to me. I need to give that person money or whatever they want so that they shut up. And they shut up. And you don't question when you say, my leader, you don't question, good chief, what happened with that thing that we were fighting for, that we had to go to the streets, by the way? Where are you now with it? You can question because you are a minion. You are just following blindly.
It's like a messiah complex. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. A messiah complex. South Africa has a lot of this problem, especially in politics. I don't know if there's any other country that does this. Every time someone bright or someone who speaks like ho comes, then you don't want to believe that they've got shortcomings.
Take for example a person like Zero.
Yeah.
Zero does the research. It's a young boy.
Yes.
Does the research. He gives you the research.
Yes.
I'm telling you, there are people on the comments there who are fighting and say, you are lying. You are saying 1, 2, 3. But these things are there. What Zero is saying in most of, in fact, not even in most of, it's there. It's available.
Publicly available.
But because you are failing to go to even Google, for heaven's sake, and just do your own follow-up.
They fight him and they say he's lying. That's what I'm like, yo.
That's when you see, in South Africa, we have a problem.
Yo.
And let me tell you, you see, that's why we will have countries like your Nigeria and other countries coming here and undermining us. Because as much as they do whatever that they do sometimes, they are well informed most of the time.
They are well informed.
To such an extent that they even know our constitution.
More than we
do.
Yes.
They know our laws more than we do.
Yes, they
You know
do.
why? Because we don't care. We are just sitting here to say, you're lying. You guys are attitude. You don't want
to
the
fight.
truth.
You just want to tussle. You just want to fight. You are ready for a fight in the comment section. You're ready to fight for your favorites. You're ready to fight.
You guys don't want the truth. You go to these people that they say they are speaking the truth. You go to their timeline. You can put 2 and 2 together. You're like, but this comes from here. This comes from here. If this comes from here, therefore, so and so is equals to so and so. So and so is so and so.
There's still a long way to go. You know, now I see why what happened in Cordesa happened and why they were able to get away with what they did there. I see now. There's something wrong with how we approach things that concern us. We need to work on that.
We cannot work on that.
It's not good.
We cannot. People are not. They are not ready.
Wool.
I mean, they are not ready. They are not ready. You know, they are not ready. I don't want to disappear. I mean, you know, some of these things are just transitivity issue, where if A has this information and B has the same information and C has the same information, and then A is regarded as a person who's the head, then that means B and C works for A. They're same thing.
It's one thing.
Just that it's a different mouth
Yes.
saying it.
Yes.
I'm telling you, nobody's going to go there and show any evidence, because most of those evidence comes from the intelligence. The question is going to be, how did you get it? People are going to get arrested.
How?
That's
did
why
you
they
have
need a
access?
third person to pass the information.
And you will always not be clued up. You'll just fall for the bait. You take the information, you spread it, you spread it, you spread it.
So this is what is happening with Senzo's case. We have people who are easily swayed. And they accept. They are receivers, actually.
Yes.
They are receivers of the information. They just receive and take it, and they make it the truth. And this thing was worked on long time ago.
Yeah. It
It's something that is doctrinated to us as people. People who have decided to question the system and everything that we have in Africa, they are all gone most of the time.
Yeah. They are gone.
You check your parties like your PAC, and once I go there, you won't understand. To take you time to actually understand what people who were really advocating for things that needs to happen inside, they are all for one reason or another gone, and we are left with the so-called revolutionaries who are just doing
Performing.
God knows what. But
That's just
we're not here for that. Let's talk about something else.
Well, let's go back to what happened at court. We are deviating now away from.
It just pisses me off, man, when we have to think that you have, in South Africa, the classical example of how when you fight for them, you need to, on the other side, with one hand, be fighting them.
It's exhausting.
You fight for them while you are fighting them.
You are also fighting them because they are coming for you. They are taking you. You're trying to save them. You are fighting the enemy for them. And they're like, what are you doing to the enemy? We love the enemy.
That's South Africa for you.
I know, I painted it in an awful way, but that's literally what is happening. It's literally what is happening, and it's tough. And it's exhausting for people that are willing to be up there and fight. That's why they end up taking the money sometimes.
Yep.
It's not easy. You guys don't make it easy sometimes. So yes, so going back to the testimony there at the Pretoria High Court, this is what Advocate BALOYI continued to put there on the record again and again and again. So according to that confession, it said we drove to the hostel and they said they never took anything, cell phone or money. Sibia said he doesn't know anything about what is being spoken there. Then BALOYI said, see, Mr. Sibia, the fact that two people entered the house and demanded cell phones, and there was a struggle with one of the assailants and the deceased, and that 2 shots were fired. This across with the evidence of the state witnesses, Ms. Zandile Khumalo, Mthokozi Sithwala, and Tumelo Madlala, in a broad outline. How will Lieutenant Colonel Mboto have known about this fact? And Sibia said that even now I'm still saying that I don't know anything about what is being said here. And I keep saying that the person who will know all about this is Colonel Mboto. It's him who will know about these facts. Then Sibia said, even now, I'm still saying that there is nothing I know about that is being said there. And I keep saying that the person who might know about this is Colonel Mboto in Kininda. As to how many shots were fired from the firearm, as to who entered that house and how they did it, I don't have knowledge of that. I have knowledge of what you just read to me. I know nothing. So BALOYI then said in the morning, or early in the morning, he's reading the confession. I received a call from Marco, and he said that he was going to go and collect the money for Kelly, At about 9 o'clock, I received money from Marco, who told me that we have been rewarded for our job. Sibia said that again, he's never had knowledge of this. There's never been a point where he phoned or him and Marco phoned each other. There has never been a time where Marco had given him money. And he says that he doesn't know anything about all that is written in there. Then BALOYI continued to read. He gave me 30,000 rands for my share. We agreed, 3 of us, to give Makubo 5,000 rands for his assistance in this job. Zwani.
Yeah.
Yes. MKHULU. My apologies. MKHULU Zwani.
Yeah.
Then Sibia said, I repeat that I know nothing about what is written in there. Just like I said, there is nothing that I have received from a death of any person. So there's no traditional healer that I've attended as a result of the death of someone. So BALOYI then said on Friday, we did draw your attention to the fact that the traditional healer testified to this Mr. Lionel Zwani, and his evidence is found in the records of the 4th of September 2023. And Sibia said he doesn't know anything about what is being said there. Even the person who came to testify, he said he was seeing him for the first time when they came to testify on the witness box. So BALOYI then continued to say that, but Sergeant Mukhola did testify that Constable Buthelezi brought you in Brigadier Kininda's office there at Eraton, and he identified you as a person who came to consult with him and 2 other people. You know, back in the day, I would say about a year or 2 ago, I didn't understand why there was this emphasis of forcing to say that Muzi had been to Eraton. Right? But today it combined for me that he had to be at Eraton so that MKHULU Zwani could spot him.
Exactly.
He said, we'll refer to the relevant record later. And Sibia said, there has never been a time where I met with Raymond Zwani. There's never been a time where Buthelezi took me to Zwani. I only saw Zwani for the first time when he came to testify. And that's when I first saw a person called Lamont. He couldn't really pronounce the word. I think, he didn't know. We kept calling him Lamont or Raymond Zwani. But then the interpreter also was struggling to say that is it Leighton or Lionel, and he said, Usbia, those are just lies. He feels that everything written there are just lies. He's never said any of that. So BALOYI then said MKHULU helped us to rinse ourselves. And I'm like, not rinse ourselves, Who rinses themselves?
And then you have that being written by a seasoned police. And then you tell me that Muzi knows English. She must then accept the fact that he read that thing. It just puzzles me that you would expect a lay person to understand the law jargons.
Yes.
You expect him to interpret law properly.
Yes.
I mean, even people who are educated, PhD level, who are not in law, they need lawyers.
Yes. Everyone needs a lawyer.
If you're pushing the narrative.
Even lawyers themselves, when they find themselves in trouble with the law, they hire another lawyer. Even though they know that they can be of assistance and whatnot, but they just hire another lawyer because that's how serious the court is. It's that serious.
Ramasipiri raised a proper objection there to say that even if I know the law, I still need
for my rights to be read and
explained to me. Yes.
Explained to me.
Only in that court where people can just do shortcuts such as, we can hear you spoke a well English better than most judges. Such stupidity flies in such courts.
Like, even if you can speak
your
own language, why not? It's a constitutional right. Even I should have gone and testified at court. I don't want to be speaking in English. I don't think in English. I translate my thoughts to English and then I speak. That's why in South Africa, most of us, we speak slowly. You understand? We can't speak at a fast pace like other countries where English is their home language. It's because in your head you're thinking, what's this word for English? What's this word for English? So in a court of law, I have no time to be trying and translating in my head. I want to speak in a language that I'm more comfortable in. Well, I will not be able to think before I process. I need to process 1,000 times before I'm about to open my mouth. No, that's stressful. And I've seen educated people at the very same Pretoria High Court, while they're in trouble, they want to speak their language. They want to testify in Setswana or Spade. They don't want to testify in English. And you'd be shocked. You'll be like, but they're fighting for their lives. How are they supposed to fight for their lives in a language that they have to process a lot before they speak? And remember, in a court of law, anything you say is used against you there. Anything. So why would you want to testify in a language that you don't have complete comprehension of? It's not your mother tongue. So it's his constitutional right. Even if he can read in English and if he can speak in English, it's a constitutional right to testify in isiZulu if that's the language he's comfortable in. The responsibility of the court is to interpret. That's why you have interpreters.
Yes.
Then he said that Khulu helped us to rinse ourselves. It's actually cleansing, the word maybe that he was supposed to be looking for, with other medicine to remove the bad luck. And then Sibia said, I know nothing about what is written there. And he said, we'll refer to the record where the traditional healer is known as MKHULU. And he did refer to the fact that he provided you with herbs to cleanse yourself. And MNISI at this point objected and said, no, it can't be said that MKHULU said he provided this Sibia with herbs. So that preposition to this witness is meritless. It was never said, you, Sibia. That's not the evidence that Lionel Zwane gave. And BALOYI referred to the evidence of Mr. Zwane on the 4th of October 2023, where Lionel Zwane said that the one that he knew was Sibia. The Sibia that he referred to, he only saw him once, and then he came again. At that time, they were having some problems that they had to do with their work. Now the Sibia is not a person, and he said, I can confidently point him out or identify him and say, yeah, this is the one. Now, when I first met, this is Lionel Zwane's testimony. He said that when he first met Sibia, they came to him in the company of 3. The person that directly communicated with him was this Sibia that he's referring to. Do you guys remember that testimony? Oh, it was a lit day in God. And he says this is the same person that he directly interacted with, this Sibia. Now, when Sibia came to him, they came to him as people that were in need of work. They were referred to him by somebody that he didn't know, but eventually they came to him and they said that they needed some work. They wanted to market for work. Marketing for work meaning they wanted to do some job hunting and find work. And he said that he had to give them some herbal medicine for cleansing purposes. And he said to them that he has a product and they can go and cleanse themselves with this product, and then after they can go and search for work. The product that he gave them, he says he called it Inhlanhla Mhlophe, meaning white luck or bright luck.
It's
or
very
luck.
crazy. On the other side, to actually use Inhlanhla Mhlophe and go and kill.
They're trying to say that that's what happened.
Put a context to this.
Yeah.
Ihlahla such as Inhlanhla Mhlophe, omkhanyakude,
Yes.
ovela behleke. In Zulu siyesithi zihlazi lezi. These are trees that you combine, and then when you are looking for something or maybe
An opportunity, a business opportunity, or a work opportunity.
Yes. Some of them, these Inhlanhla Mhlophe, you can actually use them to even attract women to be, you understand? you are going to kill, you use that, not in teles. You use in shop. We are going to kill, you might as well use umlomo mnandi mos. It's love. I mean, we are dealing with ihlazi lezi ezisetshenziswa zinsizwa nje mangabe zenzela ukuthi zibe nogazi.
Izithandeke.
So uyobulala umuntu wena ufuna ukuthandeka. Ufuna ukubonakala ukude wena. I mean, who are you fooling who? Uyobulala umuntu. Who is fooling who here? Uyobulala umuntu, you wanna be spotted far. Umkhanyakude, usebenzisa umkhanyakude, usebenzisa ontshatsha mhlophe.
You want to be the center of attention. You want people to look at you and go like, you know?
Crazy. Things that we are here in that court, I think they should not be heard ever again. They should end there. It's crazy. It's something that you cannot imagine happening, but it's happening in that court.
You want to
it's
be recognized. As
Africa
you go
Chabadi, thank you very much. Team Cool, siyabonga mfowethu. Sibonga MKHULU, sibonga Bongani. Thank you. Siyabonga. Africa Chabadi, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So you want to be recognized. You want to be the center of attention as you go and take a life. That is weird. And BALOYI said that he did not charge them for consultation. That's not him, by the way. It's what is written in the statement that is said to be his, right? And he says, I usually charge them 100 rands per consultation, but on that day, they gave me 500 rands for the work that he had finished for them. And he said that he only saw him coming back this Sibia to him. You know, remember, he wasn't specific about what Sibia he was talking about. And perhaps about 2 or 3 days, he then came back to him. And the second time around, he said he cannot ascertain as to the number of people that came. Safe to say that this very same Sibia that came for the first time to consult with him, he came the second time around to indicate that the job had been done. Now, he said to him that they had gone to search for work. There was someone who had sustained some injury there. He said he didn't know in terms of cultural background, but with them, when someone had passed on in the family, there's some ritual cleansing of the members of the family. The same principle is applied when they came because they crossed paths with misfortune. And as a result, he had to assist them with the ritual cleansing after that. This is so confusing. I mean, how do you compare the ritual cleansing of family members after a funeral to a ritual cleansing of a hitman?
You can, in a sense. The cleansing of that funeral is removing, what do we call it, bad omen. Even with the other one, you are still doing the same thing.
No, but family members are related by blood, right?
Yes.
Once you start cleansing for someone who's not your family member that you killed, it's the same thing as when a family is cleansing.
It is.
How so? They're not related.
No, they're not related, but
you killed a
you
person.
took their spirit, yes. Their spirit saw you as the last person, same as your family member. So the cleansing is more on those lines. That's why you need to cleanse. But the cleansing is totally obviously different. Some of them, they use even the blood of the deceased. These days, they use the blood of the deceased a lot to actually deceive if there's retaliation
from the family.
From the family, in a sense of using their own way or their own technology. You understand? Because other families, they know how to retaliate without being physical. So they use that blood, take it, and so normally they would shoot you and they just have a bit of whatever that they have. After shooting you, they take it quickly, blood, and then they go.
And then he said that he gave them the medicine or the herbal medicine for cleansing, which is called Inhlanzi. What is that? Did I even pronounce it right? Because I saw Advocate BALOYI there being dribble. What is that?
Open the foot.
Inhlanzi. I may say it wrong because I did not.
I think what was meant to be the point there was ihlazi zokugeza.
Oh, ihlazi zokugeza. Okay, that makes sense.
Ihlazi zokugeza.
Like what is this?
Ihlazi is what I've been saying. Ihlazi zokugeza. Ihlazi zokugquma is a combination normally of trees. Where you put trees and then kuba zihlazi ke zakho zokugquma nje zokuphalaza.
Oh, ihlazi.
Yes. Domkhanya kude or ovela behleke, stuff like that. And then zikhona ke ezinye that are meant for ukuhlamba ukususa ilokhuzana, this bad omen after you've done something wrong.
Okay.
If you are from jail, for example,
the
main aim of cleansing is that thing shall not follow you. So if you are from jail,
don't go back.
From where we come from, don't go back. How do we do it? We make sure that before you enter home, you are cleansed. Number 2,
you leave the
as you are cleansing, we are saying, do not come with this bad spirit here in the yard. Same as when people lose their lives through cars and accidents, or through the shooting, the body was shot.
Violent death.
We, in KZN, don't just take that body and then we take it to the home. Normally, it's not even supposed to get inside the homestead. That body normally goes straight to the graves. This is a sign to show this person, the way he left,
we would not like
it was not
to be
a nice way. It was. So we take you there, we cleanse you, take you there. That's normally the case. But now, as time goes on, people want to, I would say, bond with their loved one before they let them go. They do, but they still have to follow certain procedures. There's this belief that if something that is really bad that happened, our forefathers had that belief.
Yes.
There must be, Christians, they call it breaking the chain.
Breaking generational curses.
Yeah, they are breaking that generational curses. That's what they are doing also. They are not saying, do not come back here. They even say, do not come back here and then take someone the same way you left.
So they are using their mouth, they are speaking.
And obviously there's intelligence.
Interesting stuff. So BALOYI then said on the 4th of September 2023, Mr. Zwane testified about the police who came to his house and that he was then arrested. He was handcuffed. Then he testified that he was taken to a police station where he was handcuffed. BALOYI read the record and it said that when I got there, they took pictures of me in the street and then I was handcuffed at the street. This is Babylon Zwane's testimony. He said, let me just explain it this way. I eventually got to the police station while handcuffed. And whilst at the police station, there I said the Sibiya young man was coming from proximity, could be from here, perhaps to the door there. And I was asked, he was handcuffed on his feet as well. I asked him, young man, what happened? Asking Sibiya, this is the very person that I had a close interaction with, that we were facing each other at a very close proximity, and the others were just adjacent to where he was just. These ones are seated behind me.
I'm sorry, Emel, to say how crazy to imagine this situation that Lionel Zwane was talking about. So I'm in a position of saying that this is probably a different spear and this was a different case.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Eventually it was embedded to this Moses Beer case. It is crazy because we are listening to Uzwane had an encounter with this beer.
Yes.
But not the one in prison. And this one was chained from the hands.
Hands only.
And the one that he had encountered with, he had chains
on the hands and the feet.
Yes.
That one he saw had cuffs on the hands, on the feet.
And then this story, for one reason or another, it ended up landing in the door of this poor Moses, the same way the bullets landed in his house, and he was arrested in his uncle's cuckoo, and he was the one arrested.
Yeah. Yes. Now he says that he does not recall which police officer spoke to him. And right there at the police station, there were many police officers, and he said to me, "Do you know this person? Do you recognize this person?" He then replied and said, "Yes, I know this person. He's the very same person that came to me. This is Sibiya." BALOYI then went to the evidence of Sergeant MKHULU on the 20th of November 2023. Brigadier Ginida introduced himself to MKHULU and warned him of his constitutional rights. This is MKHULU speaking on her side of the story. As the brigadier was giving MKHULU his constitutional rights, Buthelezi came with accused number 1. As we walked into the office, MKHULU made certain remarks which revealed that they knew each other. But Brigadier commanded the members to take Muzi back to the car so that he cannot be in the same office as him, as he wanted to question MKHULU. Indeed, they took him back into the car, and the brigadier questioned MKHULU. BALOYI asked if there was still an objection. He really thought that he had done something by reading all of this. And I'm like, we are tired. But I then went to the record of the 21st of November 2023, the evidence of MKHULU again, where MKHULU said that when they got at Eratin, MKHULU was able to identify him as he walked into the office, referring to Sibiya. Then BALOYI referred accused number 1, and the MNISI at this point stood up and he said, "You know what, my lord, I must reply. We realize that the state is referring to the testimony of MKHULU here. We still have to come and deal with the testimony of MKHULU when we argue about whether or not she should be a credible witness. But coming closer to home, there was the base for my objection. The state says Lionel ZWANE said, 'It is you,' referring to this witness, Mr. Sibiya, Mr. MNISI. Then he says that he objected to say, but ZWANE never said, 'It is you,' at that state, the way that the state is putting it. And then the court invites the state to respond. In its response, the state reads the passage from ZWANE's evidence. And he said, I'm still yet to see those passages that the state has referred to, where ZWANE says that this Sibiya is the one that I spoke to on that day. This is the Sibiya that I'm speaking about, the one that is before the court. And he said that he's still yet to hear that from those passages that Advocate MNISI was reading. And he said that this is primary evidence. The person that says yes, the people who came to me, they wanted to assist, or they wanted me to assist them with this and that. They came here, that very same box, the witness box, and said that I had very close proximity with the person that I actually interacted with on that day. I was very close. But we're in that primary evidence as compared to MKHULU's evidence, which is secondary evidence. Now the source of the primary evidence says that Sibiya that I spoke to on that day, I don't see him in court. That was under cross-examination by Ms. Mshololo. But as I'm saying, I'm still waiting for the state to specifically direct this court to a passage
and
that
for
says...
one reason or another. You see, playing a chess game, I agree, they are doing well. BALOYI is doing well playing the chess game. When he needed to press for that, to say, do you recognize any of this? Obviously, there will be an objection. But the same way they did with Zande and everyone else.
Yeah.
They don't press on that. They leave it hanging like that. Spear has been mentioned. It's that situation. Spear mentioned, then that translates to the spear in court. And if Mshololo, and we are grateful for that question, it was a risky one, but we are grateful for it. Because the person could have pointed maybe the same spear, then what? If they were
Then
brave.
it was game over. The judge
And
wanted
maybe
it.
also
He wanted it so bad. He
we
was
are so
angry.
excited about such people when they come to court. Bobabuzwane who are not teachable. You know, it's in this case, I think the man was not teachable.
He was also upset. Remember, they came to him with vans and portrayed him as he's a traditional healer. Can you
But
imagine
with
the
this
stigma?
team, it does not matter whether you are upset or what.
Yeah.
Let us be grateful for his spirit not to be teachable. Because if he was all over when he testified to such an extent that they had to cut him short.
Yes.
Because he
Didn't
was
go
speaking a
according
lot
to
of
plan.
things. It didn't go according to plan. Remember talking about it. So we are happy that that man was not teachable.
He couldn't get over how they came to his house with so many vans.
And Sbia rightfully submits that if they were that much with Lionel Zwane, what could stop them from coming to me the same way they ambushed Babu Lionel Zwane with those many cars that were there?
Good point. Good point. What would stop them from coming for him like that if they came like that for an old man?
Let's press the like button, guys. Please, we appreciate the like buttons. We appreciate your gifts in a form of like buttons and then conversation.
And he said that CBS says that in March 2019, he got assaulted by Mr. BALOYI and some other policemen. We cannot jump into conclusion and say that this is the BALOYI that is prosecuting on this case that is being referred to when Sbia was testifying. No, definitely not. This is a prime example that he was making to say that there's a BALOYI who's being mentioned in the court as one of the officers who arrested Moses Sbia. Now, to say that that BALOYI who assaulted Mr. Sbia is the one who's prosecuting this case, it would be unfair. All they do is share a common surname. It does not mean by the mention of BALOYI, they are only referring to the prosecutor. So, because the primary source of that information says I don't see him here at court, but on that day I had a very close look at his face, close proximity. I'm still waiting for the state to direct us. You know, the passage that they say this is where Lionel Zwane said that this Sibia is the one that is before the court. So Ramosipil also stood to fortify MNISI's objection. He said that Mr. Lionel Zwane was given an opportunity to even from the dock identify Sibia, you know, the Sibia that he has interacted with closely, and spent a few minutes looking at all the accused persons in court and said Sibia is not here, and added a rider to say that Sibia that he interacted with was in fact taller and darker, and he also gave the description of the Sibia that he says he consulted with. BALOYI said that the passage that he quoted made it very clear that Mr. Zwane was taken to the police station, and his evidence read with evidence of MKHULU, in that he was taken to Eraton, and whilst Brigadier Gininda was reading his rights to him, Buthelezi walked in with accused. Mr. Lionel Zwane then identified the accused and said that this is Bia, the guy he says he was talking to, and asked him what was wrong, you know, why have you not been arrested? That also taking into account the evidence of MKHULU. He says they submit that the person that is referred to is accused number one. Genkani, he wants it to be accused number one by fire, by force. MNISI then said that he hears what the state is saying, but they'll deal with this in argument, not now. He's busy cross-examining this witness. But the only thing he said he's worried about is when he puts a supposition that needs to be very fair, honest, and true. Baloyi said, indeed, my lord, I think that one of the basic tenets of cross-examination is that when you put a preposition, it must be correct. Hence, we're taking the trouble to refer to the record. The only reason why we prefer to go to the record was to respond to the objection by Advocate MNISI. But the fact of the matter is that Mr. Zwane said he was consulted by a person called Sibia. He was in the company of two persons 3 or so days after the persons came back to him, and he said that they were met with misfortune and requested cleansing. Subsequently, they came with the police. He was arrested at his house. They took him to a police station. Sergeant Mokhola says it's Eraton. He basically repeated that whole story again, but eventually came to the point to try to drive it home by saying that, as Advocate MNISI correctly points out, that these matters can be left for argument. They just wanted to show that there was correlation between the accused in the statement and Mr. Zwane says in his statements, and he says we'll leave that for argument. And he said that they just wanted to respond to the objection that their facts were not correct as put to the witnesses, and that they submit that they are correct, but we will not be laboring that point further, my lord, is what he said. Then he asked Bia for a comment. Well, Bia said that he never made a statement to any person and that he has never seen a person called Zwane apart from being or seeing them in court. There was never a time he cuffed both hands and feet, or he was cuffed both hands and feet. There was never a time that he was taken to Buthelezi to go and see Zwane. He says it never happened. And he says that most of the time he would have been detained at Valeria and he would only be brought back to Valeria. He says the first stop police station he would see every time they returned him, it would be the Valeria police station. So Baloyi then said, see, Mr. Sibia, the nub of the matter is this, that on the 30th, before Mboto mentioned that he's a traditional healer, that is before even his statement is obtained, he's then traced the following day, the 31st of May, then his evidence coincides with what is stated in Exhibit FF. He says that's the crux of the matter. Sibia said he will repeat. He knows nothing about what is written in there and he knows nothing about this. Okay? He says the statement that Baloyi is talking about, he knows nothing about it. The only thing that he's saying is that the people who have knowledge about this are Gininda and Boto. So Baloyi continued reading the statement and he said, we came back to the room where they dropped me and they left. Nobody came to us, the police. The story was quiet. Sibia had a moment there where he corrected the interpreter that Baloyi was not reading his statement, rather that he was reading a statement before him. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed with that. He's not taking ownership of the statement. He's saying, don't say that he's reading my statement. Tell him that he's reading a statement before me.
Yes.
So the interpreter gracefully made the correction, and Sibia responded by saying that even now he would like to maintain that he knows nothing about the things that the prosecutor is talking about. The person he asked about that statement is Gininda and Boto, and Baloyi continued reading and he said, I heard that somebody was arrested in the case and I knew that it was the wrong person. Sibia said he knew nothing about what the prosecutor was saying and they should ask Gininda and Boto. Baloyi continued to read that this passage that we just quoted coincides with your evidence in chief. When you gave evidence on the 13th of October 2025, you testified as follows. And this is the introduction of your evidence in chief. He said, on the 27th of October 2014, South Africa woke up to news to the passing of Senzo Meyiwa, South Africa goalkeeper. And I'm like, I remember this thing being read as an intro somewhere. I don't know whether it's MKHULU or MNISI, but MNISI ended up taking ownership of it. I can't believe he wanted to use this. Then Baloyi went to the passage he was referring to. He said that a team of investigators were assembled and Zambukuhle Mpata was arrested. And after a few days, 3 weeks after, the NPA withdrew the case based on the basis of mistaken identity. So MNISI stood and said that this is not an objection per se, but when he started to lead this witness, he said that Mr. Sibiya was an interlude. He said it was an interlude. MNISI said that it came from him and it didn't come from the witness. It was just him drafting and giving a background as to why the accused have found themselves in this court. And all the state quoted actually came from him and not the witness. So Baloyi held Sibiya hostage to this evidence and said that Mr. Sibiya did confirm the evidence. Oh my goodness. He said that he submitted this is a legitimate question. And then the judge asked, where did he confirm it? And Baloyi said, he never said that it is incorrect or that he differed with the counsel. He went along with what counsel was leading him on. Sibanda gave him the record on the 30th of October 2025, and Baloyi read it into the record. He said that his arrest was based on error of mistaken identity, and Sibiya said yes. MNISI objected and said it's not a yes. He was simply meant to say that he was following what I was saying, And in any event, he was summarizing the case based on the state's perspective, and that was a fact. All that he was saying, it was an interlude of facts, and the state cannot dispute those facts. They are actually what happened. So Mr. Sibiya cannot be held at ransom for what his lawyer said as an interlude. And when he said yes, I'm following you. It's not a confirmation of anything. It doesn't say, yes, it happened like that. So MNISI said that it was also very strange. She brought up this record that Sibanda had now referred Advocate Baloyi to quote the record of the 13th. And he actually said that they don't have those records yet. So in other words, the state is in possession of, the record, and they no longer pass it to them, because he said that they were told that the record takes longer to prepare. It's not like it used to be. Apparently back in the past, I remember, if my memory serves me well, it used to take 2 or 3 days. Now it's 4 or 5 weeks for it to be prepared. Otherwise, this came as a blessing in disguise, MNISI said, because they would not be able to know this information. So Baloyi said that he was reading from his notes, and the passage that he quoted is from the record, and Sibanda informed him that they actually received those records this morning, and the judge asked that he continue, and they will argue that at another time. Well, he continued to Advocate Baloyi with reading the statement. He was talking about the firearm that was sold to Mthobisi Stole from Umsinga in KZN. That is the firearm that was used to kill Senzo, which was owned by Marco Buthelezi. Sibiya said that he still maintains that he does not know anything that the prosecutor was reading, and they can go ask Gininda and Boto. Makimbi Buthelezi was arrested as KZN and Marco at KZN, and Marco was killed by the police in Davidson during the arrest. Sibiya said even now he still maintains that he knows nothing about Makimba. He can ask Gininda and Boto. Well, Baloyi said that we will at some later stage refer to your evidence where he says that it's up, Gininda's evidence where he said that he followed up the version about Makimbi Buthelezi and Marco and established that they were in custody during this period. So he's not done. Why can't he just wrap this thing up? Here's Katele Afuki Baloyi. Even going through your stuff is so boring. There's no highlight, there's no spark, there's no ta-ta-ta-ta. Are you really going to put us through this misery for the whole week?
Unfortunately.
Mina ngathi ngizobalekela kubadlanga la.
Unfortunately, we are going through it.
Baloyi then said they were arrested after 2 months concerning the thumbprint and the signature. Sibia said he could not see the signature clearly. He said that it wasn't visible. It wasn't visible at the final page. It apparently the print, the thumbprint or the signature was sitting on the thumbprint was sitting on top of the signature. So he couldn't confirm the signature is his because he couldn't see it clearly and said it wasn't eligible. Well, the judge said that they can check it later, and Baloyi then read where it said that he then gave me papers to sign. I signed. Apparently, it's from the evidence in chief in cross-examination. It was put by Ramasipili that he did sign, and he put his thumbprint on the document. Even Ramasipili looked kind of shocked at what was happening, but then he came up with a solution later on to say that no, how about we have Muzisbia go through each and every single page and confirm whether that is his thumbprint and signature, because a lot could have happened. And I remember thinking to myself that maybe this is proof that actually they were standing up. There was no desk, there was no table. They were standing up because how do you put your thumbprint on top of your signature? So it means you were not sitting straight or comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, Sibia said that he signed and placed his thumbprint on that statement, and he cannot say whose signature it is because it is not visible. You know, he did say that Mboto told him to sign on the papers that he came with, and then he said that their signature was his, but he cannot see it clearly. It's not visible. And then Baloyi went to the 6th of February when he was cross-examined by Sibanda, and he stated that he did see his signature and he confirmed that he did sign, but the question therein, he did not know them. So Sibia said that he's still maintaining that he did sign. He did also mention that it to his attorney that he did sign. What Mboto requested was for him to sign, and he did sign. And Baloyi asked again that the signature and thumbprint were his. Sibia said that they were not visible. Even the signature said it's not clear, it's covered by ink and thumbprint. Then Baloyi said that in the trial, within a trial, he did not have these type of problems that he's having now. And that is the reason why Ramasipili came up with that proposal that he should perhaps go page by page by page to see what is what.
Yes, Emily is frozen. Guys, we acknowledge that, unfortunately, but the voice is there. It happens. Technology, it happens.
So frozen.
You are frozen, Emily. So that's why many people are surprised that why Emily is frozen.
Yeah, it is YouTube. It's going through a lot of issues now. I think they are upgrading their systems or something. Something is happening with live streams. It's not just us, you guys. A lot is going on. I've been watching other creators and they kind of experience some type of glitches. It's not as smooth as it used to be. I think it's YouTube that's doing this. So Sibia said that his signature is clear on other pages but not so clear on others, especially the one at the back. And he said that he can't say the thumbprint is his, but he did make a thumbprint on that day. He did not only sign one page. Mboto made him sign a lot of papers, and he said he did sign as instructed by Mboto, even identified a rock, and Mboto would tick, to show him where to sign. And Baloyi went through every single page asking if it was his signature and thumbprint. So Baloyi went back to where reference was being made to Makimbi Puteles and Marco being killed by the police in Davidson during the arrest. And he said that Brigadier Gidinda testified about this during the proceedings of the 18th of October 2024, he said Makimba is also Qiniselani Buthelezi, and a statement was obtained from him as they were trying to collaborate the alleged confession of accused number 1. And he said he found him at Kalagabusha, that is where he was incarcerated. The record confirmed that he was in detention with his brother Marco, and they were released briefly in 2016, and then he was arrested again. Then briefly Marco was killed around 2019, and they also obtained his death certificate. He was shot and killed. Sibia said that this came from Gininda, and he knows nothing about what is being said about that by Gininda. And he's starting it for the second time. He says he's hearing this for the second time. The first time it was the statement, and now it's appearing again. Gininda is the one revealing it, according to Sibia. So Sibia said that he did not know Makimba, who he was with and where he had been. He knows nothing, yet Gininda is the one revealing all of this information. BALOYI went back to reading the statement that they had been going through since last week. I can't believe this is taking so long. Sibia said Mboto said he was going to ask him a few questions and asked about the death of Senzo, but he never asked him for a statement. And this was in response to BALOYI reading when Mboto said that he read Muzi, the contents of the statement, and BALOYI said he'll leave this for argument. BALOYI read when Mboto said the accused did not read the statement but clarified to the officer about the day the caps were used by them in paragraph 3. So according to Mboto, Muzi made a correction about the caps only. And Sibia said that there was no correction that he made with Mboto except for when he was done and he said he must sign. He said they should ask the question to Mboto, and Sibia said Mboto was not reading anything back to him at the time that he was allegedly taking the statement. He said he wasn't talking, he was just talking to him like on a conversational basis. He wasn't letting him know that I'm taking a statement, I'm going to be writing a statement, or all of those processes that police officers have to go through before they take down your statement. And on the question of whether he was satisfied with how the statement was written, Mboto said yes, or filled in a yes on that form. However, Sibia says he did not ask him anything, and he never asked him whether he was satisfied or not. BALOYI said the Ramosipili asked Mboto, did you ask him for his level of education? And Mboto said, yes, my lord, although I did not write it down. Also, I remember the asking about his education. He said he's at a lower level. He did not mention the class. Sibia then said Mboto never asked him which standard he left school at, because he had asked him, or had he asked him, he would have told him which grade that he left school at. When he says at a lower level, he says he doesn't know whether he's saying a lower level and what does that mean. Does it mean standard 1 up until standard 5? But he never asked him. Even if the prosecutor was to ask him, he said, Usbia, what grade he finished, he would not say a lower level. He will tell him which standard he left school at. BALOYI said, but that is information that appears there, correct, when he says he left at a lower level. Sibia said he did not leave school at a lower level. He says he did not say lower level. What is he talking about? Because the lower level that he knows is from standard 1 up until standard 5, and that is a lower level. It's primary school. Then you go to high school. High school, he emphasized. So he says he did his grade 12. So in high school. So yeah, that's interesting because there they wrote lower level. So they undermined him to that level to say he has no high school education. Allegedly. So this was not put to Lieutenant Colonel Mboto when he testified that you went to grade 12, is what Advocate BALOYI asked. And Sibia said that he never asked me, Colonel Mboto, because I was going to tell him that I went up to grade 12. So BALOYI then now went to the OB entries at the police station and read an address of 1818 Vosmos Squatter Camp in Tembisa. Kante, how do they write addresses? Do you know what the squatter camp is? A squatter camp has no house numbers. The municipality has not allocated that place. So what ends up happening is there are no addresses. So Vosmos section seems to be a township because they've got house numbers and stuff allocated. They've got yards because he was saying he was in somebody else's yard when they pounced on him and arrested him. Remember? So for writing an address, it's like a deliberate sabotage because the moment you put in that squatter camp, you're already sending a message to the judge to say this person doesn't have a place to live. They're homeless. So I found this very inconvenient. And he kept denying it to Muzi to say that you can't be calling an address a squatter camp. You know, that's, in my opinion, that's diabolical, but he's fought for himself. He said, you know what, his address is 1818 Vosmos section. If you say 1818 squatter camp, it will take you to another different area. And he said that he didn't even know which area that would be because it would be completely wrong. So Sibia said that his address is 1818 Vosmos section, not Vosmos squatter camp. And Sibia said whoever wrote there does not understand how they were writing because he has nothing to do with what they wrote there. So BALOYI now was saying that Mboto called Sibia on the side, Mr. Anonymous. BALOYI was reading what Ramasipili had said. What did you think about the squatter camp situation?
I think you have said it. I mean, squatter camps, we talked about this, that are already allocated.
Yeah.
The numbers 181,
1818, yes.
1818. You can have that.
I think you put the aircon a bit.
The aim was that to create that situation of confusion. I mean, everything was calculated here.
Yeah. Hi, I'm going to stop here, you guys. I'm tired. You guys can call in. Not much happened after. Okay, no calling in.
It's true.
Okay, no calling in, I guess. Not much happened after the long adjournment. I'm so tired of BALOYI. I just want him to finish and sit down. I'm just so tired. This is pointless. We're going around in circles, asking the same question, hoping to get a different answer. And you're not getting the different answer, and then you're mad. And then you go back and you ask the same question over and over and over again. Oh, Muzi Sibia is a strong person. He's strong.
Very strong. And in any case, YouTube is not YouTubing. Tells me that it doesn't receive enough, whatever. But I don't know why, because every resource that I have